Someone asked in the comments, why does God talk to you? I am an avatar of God, the Arcturians, Muhammad and Aisha, Krishna and Radha, and Matthew and Joan of Arc.
Aliens try communicating. Humans are too dumb to notice.
Support the making of a movie about Prophet Muhammad and Aisha.
This is for people who think I'm crazy. I've addressed this a little bit in a previous video or two, and by this point, it's like I'm thinking, why am I bothering even to explain myself or, continuing to explain myself? Because the ones who are just not gonna get it, they're just not gonna get it, no matter how much I keep explaining myself. But I guess I gotta get it out of my system anyway, and also I'm sure there are some people out there who will understand what I'm saying, if not all. Because there must be some reasonable and level-headed people out there on planet Earth. There must be. Because if there wasn't even that much balance out there, this planet would be in shambles. I mean, it's the reasonable and level-headed people who keep some balance on this planet, and of course people like me, we bring balance to all the darkness playing out on this planet. If we weren't here, this planet Earth, would plunge into total darkness, and that wouldn't be good. And, people who think I'm crazy, I mean, I can think the same about them too. I can think they are crazy, that they are, zombies. And I guess I probably have once or twice, and that, and also the religiously programmed robots out there. So who don't know any better? But do I even want to say that? Because there's so much information out there these days, because we have this, World Wide Web. We have the World Wide Web, we have the internet these days, and anyone can, learn anything. Anyone can look up anything from around the world. Anyone can learn anything, any kind of information and knowledge, if they have internet available. And of course you have to be careful with the sources you're choosing to learn from, but all the information and the knowledge is out there on your fingertips, in this day and age where we have the World Wide Web and the internet. But if the people themselves don't want to learn and they rather stay ignorant, then, well, who can force them? No one can force them, right? No one can force anyone to learn. People have to do that by themselves, because people have free will that God has given them. God has given human beings free will. So no one can force anyone to learn. I can't force people to learn. If they wish to stay ignorant, then that's the choice they're making with their free will. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. It's not in my control. And I'm not even going to try and control it. All I can do is sit here and teach. And whoever is willing to learn will learn. And whoever is going to come here and then, think I'm crazy and leave, then all right, there's nothing I can do about that. It's not in my control. Other people are not under my control. So their thinking and their perceptions, even if they are warped and twisted and just utterly wrong, especially when it comes to me, but there's nothing I can do about it. I cannot stop people from thinking the way they want to think about me. Their thinking and their minds are not under my control. So all I can do is just do my thing, and the ones who will understand and the ones who will get it will get it, and the ones who won't, they'll just think I'm crazy and leave. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about that. Though I would like to say a few things to the ones who think I'm crazy, etc. And let's start with Jews, because we talk about all religions here. We are not, stuck in a box. We are not stuck in a box of only one religion like most people are, because they are stuck in a box. They are stuck in the box of only their own religion, whether that's Judaism for Jews, and Christianity for Christians, Islam for Muslims, Hinduism for Hindus, etc. And I guess that's another reason why people think I'm crazy and they have a hard time resonating with me, because I'm not stuck in a box like most people are, like they are. Because I talk about all religions here. I'm open to all religions. So let's start with the Jews. I mean, would Jews ever dare to think that Moses, who is Moshe for Jews, and he is Musa for Muslims, would Jews ever dare to think that Moshe or Moses was crazy? Like, would they ever dare be that disrespectful towards him and think that Moshe or Moses was crazy? Let's move on to the Christians. Would Christians ever dare to think and be utterly disrespectful towards Jesus and think that Jesus was crazy? Jesus, who is Yeshua for Jews, Jesus for Christians, and Isa for Muslims. So would Christians ever dare to be so disrespectful as to think that Jesus was crazy? Let's move on to the Muslims. Would Muslims ever dare to be so disrespectful, so utterly disrespectful towards Prophet Muhammad and think that Prophet Muhammad was crazy? Let's move on to the Hindus, and I'll just use the example of Krishna with Hindus. Would Hindus be so, utterly disrespectful to think that Krishna was crazy? And when it comes to Hindus, Hindus think that and believe that Krishna was a god. So do you see where I'm going with this? It's like I have to spell it out for people. Like I have to try and make it really easy for people to understand what I'm talking about and where I'm going with this. So I have to give you these kind of examples to make you think. And to make you see your own thinking patterns and your own mindset and your own mentality and your own warped and twisted perceptions, even at times, when it comes to thinking that someone like me is crazy. When I'm doing the same thing as your prophets were doing. If I am telepathic, your prophets were telepathic. If I am psychic, your prophets were psychic. If I am a medium, able to talk with spirit, because even God is spirit. And for the atheists and more scientific-minded people, even science is telling you in this day and age that energy exists. And what is spirit? Spirit is energy. But just because it's the unseen, just because people cannot see energy and spirit with their two human eyes, they think it does not exist, which is far from reality. As I said, even science is telling you these days that energy exists. And energy is spirit. Energy is the unseen. So you see where I'm going with this. I hope that at least some of you are getting my drift. I hope that at least some of you are getting what I'm trying to explain here. Because, as I said, God is the unseen. God is spirit. God is energy. The unmanifest part of God, that is. Now, that's probably another thing most people wouldn't understand, but that's why I keep saying we all have a lot to learn. But if most people are choosing to stay ignorant, then that's their choice, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's not under my control. Other people are not under my control, and I don't even want control over people like that, or at all. I don't even want control over people. Like most people want control over me because they want me to conform. But that's the thing. Other people don't have any control over me, over my mind, over the way how I think, over my perception, and my perception of things either. We can't force people. There's free will that has been given by God to all human beings. And we can't even force our perceptions on other people. We can't even, no. We can't control other people. We can't force other people to conform. Like other people have been trying to force me to conform, or they would certainly like me to conform so they can be more comfortable with watching me and with whatever I'm saying and whatever they're familiar with and whatever they're comfortable with. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to teach the same old ways. I'm not here to teach the same old things, because that means that we will stay stuck in Stone Ages kind of thing, when we need to actually make some progress here. Human beings need to grow. Human beings need to evolve. Because that's another thing that's taking place here on planet Earth. Evolution of human beings. But if you are still unwilling to make any changes at all, not even the small ones, not even the smallest ones, and you want to stay stuck in stone ages, and you want to stay stuck with old ways that do not serve anymore, or that are more of a hindrance in terms of your growth and your evolution as human beings, then you're not gonna grow, you're not gonna evolve. You're just gonna stay stuck in the old ways, in the old mindset, in the old mentality, in the old perceptions. And most of those perceptions are incorrect. So, I don't know. I can only do what I'm doing here on my channel. The rest is up to people. Whether they want to learn and change for the better or not, that's up to people. And another thing people don't do, especially when, they're jumping to conclusions about someone like me and thinking I'm crazy. And if you are people of the faith, and if you are people of religion, like you are, so-called believers, whether you're a Jew, a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu, etc., that, how do you think, like, you don't even pause to even think, hey, how did Moshe or Moses get his messages from God? How was Moshe or Moses was getting his messages from God or from Holy Spirit? Holy Spirit is more of a Christian term. And, if you're a Christian, then, do you even pause to think, how was Yeshua or Jesus was getting his messages from God or from the Holy Spirit? And if you're a Muslim, do you ever pause to think, how was Prophet Muhammad getting his messages from God or Allah, and Archangel Gabriel, who is Archangel Gabriel for Jews and Christians, and who is Farishta Jibrail for Muslims? How was Prophet Muhammad getting his messages from God or Allah through Archangel Gabriel or through Farishta Jibrail? And, Muslims may say, oh yeah, he was getting his messages through Archangel Gabriel or Farishta Jibrail. But how? How was Archangel Gabriel getting through to Prophet Muhammad? How was Archangel Gabriel was able to give those messages to Prophet Muhammad? How? Okay, it's written down in history that, all right, Prophet Muhammad was getting dreams. Yeah, all right, I get dreams. I get dream messages. So what's the difference between me and Prophet Muhammad then? And also, you people need to learn about telepathy. You people need to learn about mediumship. You people need to learn about, what was the third thing I mentioned? Hang on. Channeling is another thing, which I do as well. But, now these are, okay, these are all modern day terms that most people are probably not even aware of. So look them up. If you have internet, if you have Google search or any other kind of search engine at your disposal, look up what all these things mean. What does mediumship mean? What does telepathy mean? What does channeling mean? Because these are all the things that your prophets were doing. These were all the things that, let's say, Moshe or Moses for Jews was doing. That's how he was getting his messages from God. That's how Yeshua or Jesus for Jews and Christians, that's how Jesus for Christians was getting his messages from God or from the Holy Spirit. That's how Prophet Muhammad for Muslims was getting his messages from God or Allah and through Archangel Gabriel or Farishta Jibrail. Because these prophets were telepathic, like I am. They had the psychic ability of telepathy. And of course, then, we can get into clairs as well, because, and most people wouldn't even know what clairs are. There's, the psychic ability of clairaudience and, telepathy, clairaudience, kind of the same thing. There's the psychic ability of clairvoyance. There's the psychic ability of claircognizance. There's the psychic ability of clairsentience. And I have, all those psychic abilities myself. And then, did I mention, like, how do Muslims think Prophet Muhammad was getting his messages? Because he was telepathic too. Because he was psychic too. Because he was a medium too, because he was channeling too. How was Krishna for Hindus getting his messages? Bhagavad Gita, because he was channeling God. He was a psychic. He was telepathic. He was a medium. Medium meaning talking to spirit. And spirit includes God, because God is spirit too. He was channeling God. Krishna was channeling God. The messages in Bhagavad Gita for Hindus. Where do you think those messages were coming from? Because Krishna was channeling God, and Krishna was channeling the Arcturians, because Krishna is an Arcturian. We are Arcturians. And that's another thing that, turned most people off of me, because I'm sharing my true identity of being an alien, an ET, an extraterrestrial in a human body, like an alien and an extraterrestrial or an ET soul spirit in a human body. That's another thing that people are not getting about me, that people are not understanding about me, or that's, somehow off-putting to most people. But get used to it, because what do you think is going on here on planet Earth? Do you think I'm the only alien or ET here on planet Earth? Well, then that's the thing. Maybe you need to learn instead of staying ignorant about these things. All of the prophets that have come to this planet Earth, have been aliens, are ETs, are extraterrestrials, including Moshe or Moses, who is Musa for Muslims, including Jesus, who is Yeshua for Jews, Jesus for Christians, Isa for Muslims, including Prophet Muhammad for Muslims, including Krishna and other Hindu gods and goddesses for Hindus, including Buddha. Buddha is coming to my mind too, because of course Buddha is around me in spirit as well. Buddha for Buddhists, also an Arcturian, also an alien, also an ET or extraterrestrial in a human body, in a human avatar, like I am. Also telepathic, psychic, medium, a channeler, all of that. And now Sadhguru is coming to my mind, because actually, yeah, Sadhguru is a living example of all of this that I'm talking about as well. Sadhguru is an Arcturian like me too. And Sadhguru has got all these psychic abilities as well. He just doesn't say. I think because I'm sure he doesn't want people thinking that he's crazy. But people, of course, people from all over the world have gathered around him, and the ones who understand, they understand. They know what he's about. They know what Sadhguru is about. And even the ones who don't really, know that he's psychic and he's clairvoyant and clairaudient and all of that, and a medium and a channeler and all of that, even the people who don't really understand that about him, even they know that he's for real, that he's got something, godly going on about him, or that he has a connection with God, with spirit, with the non-physical realm. Because okay, spirit is what? Spirit is something that's non-physical, that that doesn't have a physical manifestation like a body or any kind of mass or density to it. So yeah, Sadhguru just came to my mind. He's probably watching me. If you are watching me, Sadhguru, greetings. I'm being told he is. The Arcturians are telling me he is watching me. So greetings, Sadhguru. And of course, I have a close soul connection with Sadhguru, which I'm not saying for now, but maybe it'll come out in time in public. But for now, yeah. So where was I? So I have a close soul connection with Sadhguru because we are both Arcturians. So this message is for people who, come across me online here on my channel and through my video messages, and they think I'm crazy. They jump to the conclusion of thinking that I'm crazy without knowing anything about me. Why? Because I'm psychic? Why? Because I'm channeling? Why? Because I have the clairs? Why? Because I'm a medium and I can talk to spirit and I can talk to God and the Arcturians and the extraterrestrial beings, other extraterrestrial beings as well, if they want to come through and talk to me or deliver a message through me, then they can do that, because I can pick up on their messages, exactly because I'm telepathic. I have that psychic ability of telepathy and clairaudience, because I'm telepathic, because I'm clairaudient, because I'm clairvoyant, because I'm clairsentience, because I'm I have claircognizance as well, and there are other clairs as well. I'm just mentioning the main few, ones. I'm just mentioning the main ones here. So, and if you want to call them, some call these abilities and gifts as superpowers too. I'm sure if you watch Hollywood movies, you will see that these psychic abilities are perceived as superpowers as well. So, these people, I'm talking to those people only who think I'm crazy, who see me here on my channel doing channeling, or doing telepathic messages and doing mediumship, as in bringing messages from spirit, and even God is spirit, so from God, and of course even the aliens and the ETs and the extraterrestrials who are in spirit, who are non-physical, don't have a physical human body, then who are also, of course, who will be considered the unseen as well. And I'm doing all these, and I'm using all these psychic abilities of mine, and they jump to the conclusion that I'm crazy instead of looking up all these things and learning about what they are and educating themselves. No, they just rather sit there, be ignorant, and think I'm crazy. You know what? I mean, I could think then these kind of people are crazy. I can think that about them too. And and they're certainly ignorant because they have no idea about what I'm doing here or what I'm about, because they don't know anything about telepathy or being a psychic or mediumship or channeling or any of the clairs. They don't know anything about any of this. And they want to jump to the conclusion and think that I'm crazy when they are the ones who are ignorant of all of this. So they are the ones who are crazy, really, in reality, because they don't know about any of this. So they are, ignorant of all of this, and they don't even want to learn. They refuse to even learn about what all this is. They're not interested. They're not bothered in even learning about what all of this is. They rather just sit there and think that I'm crazy. Because what? That's the easier thing to do instead of learning and instead of shedding their ignorance about what all of this is. So then I can think that they are crazy too. And as I said, they are certainly ignorant. You are crazy in my eyes if you don't have any knowledge of what I'm doing here, and if you do not have any knowledge of all these psychic abilities and gifts that I have and that I am demonstrating here on my channel. And then, if you are people of the faith, if you are people of religion, then I've just explained. Would you ever dare to think? Would you ever dare to even go there and think that your prophets were crazy and disrespect them in that way to the extreme? You wouldn't. So then why are you doing it to me when I am displaying the same psychic abilities, when I'm demonstrating the same psychic abilities that your prophets had, when I'm doing the same thing that your prophets did? For example, Moshe or Moses for Jews, who is Musa for Muslims, Jesus for Christians, who is Yeshua for Jews, Jesus for Christians, Isa for Muslims, Prophet Muhammad for Muslims, Krishna for Hindus, Buddha for Buddhists, etc. And of course, Sadhguru is a living example. I am another living example, because we are back here, reincarnated and back here walking the earth in human form again. So this is to the people, and only to the people who think I'm crazy. Good luck with thinking I'm crazy, because then you must think that your prophets were crazy too. And also, you're just showing me your ignorance and how ignorant you are and how unwilling to learn you are, like how unwilling you are to learn any better. You want to stay in your ignorance. And, and then that makes me think that you are the ones who are crazy in reality, because you don't know about any of this, because you have no knowledge of any of this. Then you are the crazy ones. You are the ignorant ones. You are the ones staying stuck in ignorance. You know what? That's enough for now. I'm gonna leave this one here. Over and out.